makes more sense.
Okay.
This is Hoffman.
Hello, and my name is Bert Simar, and I'm with Lindsay Windows and Doors. We are a manufacturer of vinyl windows and doors. We started in 1947. Obviously, we started building wood product. It was in about 1986 that we brought on vinyl product, and in about the year 2005, we phased out all of our wood product and went solely into making vinyl product. The company started in Mankato, Minnesota. Now we have a manufacturing facility in Chicago. We also have one in St. Louis. We have one in Atlanta, Georgia, Seattle, Washington, and Los Angeles, California. So many people have never heard of Lindsay Windows, but we are one of the bigger players in the vinyl world. And it all started in Mankato, which is probably our 15-minute ride from here. The entire product that I'm going to show you is designed for Cold Zone 1, and that's what we are in the middle of. I am Director of Sales. I cover all of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the UP of Michigan for Lindsay Windows. There is another gentleman going to be coming in here later, and he's with Minnesota Exteriors. Minnesota Exteriors is also a customer of Lindsay Windows. These guys are with Hoffman Weber, great company. MEI, Minnesota Exteriors, another great company. So I'm not here to push Hoffman Weber or push MEI, because frankly our company loves Hoffman Weber and loves MEI. They both do really good jobs. And I personally know both of these guys, and I know John as well, so it's kind of a weird situation. We don't run into this a whole lot, but it is what it is. We started building, these vinyl patio doors, and one thing that we noticed was our vinyl doors, the sales kept going up, and our wood doors weren't doing much at all. They just weren't. And so we started asking around to our customers, the lumber yards we sell to, is, hey, how come you guys are selling so many vinyl patio doors? And they're like, well, your warranty's a lot longer on vinyl. And that's true. Your air infiltration number is actually better than the wood number. That's true again. And we have less callbacks and less cold calls with your vinyl product than we do the wood product. So today, I'm not here to slam the wood product, but there is a difference between the two products. And I am an old timer at Lindsay, and I sold both of them. I did. And back in the 80s, people would say, oh, the vinyl expand and contract so much. Well, they did that. But if you guys drove a 1982 Chevy and now today you drove a brand new Chevy, you'd say, wow, I had a hard time believing it's even a Chevy. Same thing happened in our industry. Our industry, one thing that they had to do was they had to come up with uniform testing. The government said, it's not fair that Pellis says this and Colby says this and the vinyl guys say this and the aluminum guys say this. So we are making a uniform test, an AMA standard, and you guys have to follow these rules, and then you're going to have to publish a U factor, and the U factor is going to tell the consumer what the overall rating is on the door. That sounds good to us. Well, our U factor on the wood doors never came close to the vinyl doors. And you'd say, why is that the case? Well, on vinyl, you can put a whole lot more weather stripping in there. You can make the rails wider. You can just make them a whole lot tighter than you can on the wood product. Now, there's a few things that we noticed on wood that customers really liked. One was a multi-point locking system on the handle. So we incorporated that. on the vinyl door. So instead of having these one little catch that comes out, there's a dual point catch that locks towards the top and towards the bottom. And if you want, you can also get a lock towards the bottom of the interlock rail. We call it a footbolt lock. So we took all those things that we used to do on wood and we incorporated them into our vinyl. The next thing we did was, a lot of guys were saying, you know, we're in Minnesota, we have all these pine needles. It's just a pain in the neck with these pine needles in the bottom track because it gums up the rollers and the screens. That's fine, because we had a tracking system that went in our wood system, and what we did was we made it work on the vinyl system so you can get the door either way. You can get the track in the head, and the rollers are in the head, or you can get it the standard way. Obviously, it costs a little bit more to put the track in the head because there's more parts that go with it. We actually buy that system from a company called Quanix, and there's another company that we compete with in northern Minnesota called Marvin Windows. They buy it from the same place. So if you've seen the Marvin top mount screen, this sample doesn't have the top mount screen on it, but we get it from the same place. It all comes from Quanix. So I'm going to show you this door and what makes it so unique.
Has vinyl itself changed a lot over the years?
Has it changed a lot? Oh, definitely. Yep, it has a lot. So the first thing I'm going to show you on this door is the interior portion of the door. And this would be the inside of the door, and you can see that it's white. The lines are very clean. We try to make the door have as much glass as possible, because if you have these real wide rails, it tends to make the rooms look smaller. So more glass consequently makes the rooms look bigger. So what we did was we put wider side rails and smaller pieces on the sash. So wider main frame, smaller sash. This door is relatively new for us. And when we engineered this new door, we wanted to manufacture a door that would not only work for residential, but would work for commercial. Now, to get a commercial rated door, you have to have what they call a DP, that's design pressure, of 50. Now, there's no other vinyl manufacturer out there that makes a DP 50. We are it. And this is the only door that we make which is a DP 50. This door can go 14 stories up in the air. Our old door was a great door, and we manufactured it for 18 years, but that was a DP 35, and that could go 4 stories in the air. So when you go higher, obviously there's more wind and there's more stuff going on, but we sell a lot of doors in Fargo, North Dakota. We sell a lot of product in International Falls, Duluth, Superior, Ashland, Marquette, and they get a lot of wind up there. And those guys had been complaining to me for a few years on, hey, add more weather strip. Whatever you do, make the door heavier to take more wind. When that wind comes off of Superior, she's whipping pretty good. When that wind comes across North Dakota and it hits through Minot, it doesn't have anything to slow it down until it gets to Fargo. So we were going to go ahead and upgrade and make a heavier door. And the owner of our company said, you know, there's a lot of guys out there now who have increased their doors to DP40. If we're going to go ahead and engineer a door and improve upon what we have, obviously I want it to be the class of the field. And thus, our engineering department was hit with the challenge of manufacturing a DP50 door. And they did it. Now, in this door, there's no longer any aluminum reinforcement. Many of the vinyl manufacturers out there have to reinforce their door with aluminum. And that's to get the DP rating up. Well, we took all the aluminum out and the door is lined with fiberglass now. Well, it's a pain in the neck when they go install it, because if you've ever lifted an aluminum pad or aluminum ladder, and then you lift a fiberglass ladder, you know the difference between the two doors. But when you're making a door, the aluminum transmits cold. So we wanted to take all that aluminum out to get the highest U factor that we can as well. So we achieved the DP50, but also I want to achieve, you want to get the lowest U factor you can. Everybody's patio door, I don't care whose it is, leaks some air. Because if it leaked no air, it would have a U factor of 0.000. Nobody's at 0.000. Everybody's door leaks some air. So you want to get the lowest number that you can. With our standard 2 panes of glass door system, we are at a 0.27 U factor. If you guys went to a 3-pane piece of glass, I can drop that U factor down to 0.19. And then I heard some people talking about the seal of the glass. If we go to a triple pane glass, does that affect the seal of the glass, and does that glass tend to fail faster? On our glass, we have a foam spacer bar that is between the outer pane and the inner pane. How many here have a Coleman cooler? You ever put your beverage in the cooler, throw a little ice in there, and it's a good hot day, and you go in and you grab a soda, and it's still cold? Coleman has this foam technology down unbelievably well. Well, Coleman obviously got involved in the camper business and everything else, and they said, you know what, we need to spin off and take our foam technology and put it into other areas, because what happens if people just decide they're not going to go camping anymore? So one thing they did was they started this company called Super Seal, and it's a foam spacer bar that goes between the outer pane and the inner pane. The great thing about the foam spacer bar is there's 3 seals on it, so it makes 3 seals to the glass. And when we have that typical day in Minnesota when it's 10 below outside, the glass collapses, always comes in this way. That makes for a pressure points on the spacer bar towards the outer edge. Now let's say it's summertime and it's 94 degrees outside and the humidity's way up there and the sun is shining, there's not a cloud in the sky. What happens to the glass? The glass goes this way, it bows out. It makes a pressure point on a separate area. Now if you have an aluminum spacer bar, if you have a stainless steel spacer bar, there's absolutely no give to the spacer bar. So the glass goes like this and it comes out again and goes like this, and all of a sudden the spacer on the outer edge fails. And you guys end up with condensation between the 2 panes of glass. The super spacer is foam. It goes with the flow. It just moves, it expands and contracts, expands and contracts. So, do we have an issue with seal failure at Lindsay Windows? In this market right here, the Twin Cities market here, in the Mankato plant, they make, about 800 panes of glass every day. So you're talking about 4,000 pieces of insulated glass every week. Take that times 4, that's 16,000 pieces of insulated glass in 1 month. So there's a lot of glass out in this market and goes up to Duluth and every place else. When we have a seal failure, I like to see how did it happen? How did it happen? Because last year we had 3. We had 3 seal failures in the entire calendar year. Customer calls me up, he's up in Duluth, and he says, hey, you're not gonna believe this, but we got a seal failure. Really? When it happens, we like to see it because I go up, we tear the product apart because I want to see how did it fail. Well, this was on a up and down double hung style window. And I got there and I had a new piece of glass with me, and my customer up there, H&H Lumber, and I were going to change it out. And the customer says, I don't understand it. It started fogging up like 3 months into the deal. And I'm like, well, if they're bad, usually there's an issue, and let me take a look at it. And I looked at it and I said, I can see exactly what the problem was. And she says, how can you tell just looking at it? And I said, well, look at that. There's a drill. Evidently, we ran out of screws that hold the lock in place. Somebody went to the hardware store and just got enough screws to finish that shift, but they were not self-tapping. So the guys had to run a drill and then put the screw down in there. The drill bit broke off and he ran it all the way through, and you could see it hanging down through the glass. And we shipped it that way. Are we the perfect company? No, we're not the perfect company. If you guys want a perfect company, might not be Lindsay. But do we correct everything that we do wrong? Every single time, 100% of the time. That drill bit went right through between the panes of glass, allowed oxygen to get in between the 2 panes of glass. We switched out the glass, I brought it back, and we hung it up in the break room. And I said, look at this, guys. And they had the laugh for weeks over that goofy drill bit. The next one that failed was, I wanted to look at it, and there's a back beading that goes around the glass. And there's a computer sensor that senses when this machine gets to the end of the line. Somebody hit that computer sensor piece, and it was stopping short, 4 inches from the end of the glass. And sure enough, that one took a couple of years. But we knew that there were some units out there that had that short piece. Well, I think I've replaced all of them now, because eventually they show up. How long would your guys' warranty be here? On a commercial project, we usually give you a 25-year warranty, non-prorated. On a project like this that you guys have that is owner-occupied, we're going to give you guys a lifetime warranty, and then I'm going to throw you one extra little carrot. I'm also going to make that transferable one time. So when you go ahead and sell your units here, you can go ahead, whoever buys it from you will have to re-register the door with Lindsay. So there's a $75 fee to have it re-registered, but everything is going to be covered. Well, I should not say everything. If the grandkids poke a hole in the patio screen, you're on your own. You're on your own, all right? So the screens, if it wasn't for kids and pets, I could probably warrant the screens too, but we just can't. So I'm going to give you guys a lifetime warranty, and I'm going to make it transferable. John Geis, who's coming in from MEI, doesn't even know that, but I'll tell him later that you guys, regardless of who you decide is the best match for you, Lindsay Windows, trying to earn your business, is going to give that to you. The next thing I'm going to also give you is this is a standard 1-point lock in this door system currently. And this is similar to the lock that you guys currently have. You can see it has one lock keeper here. I'm going to give you the 2-point lock system for free as well. So I'm going to extend the warranty to you to lifetime, transferable one time, and I'm going to give you the 2-point lock at no additional cost. If people want the rear foot lock, I can't give you that one. I'm trying to be Santa Claus, but the generosity has to stop at one point. The next thing, talking about the door itself, is whosever door you decide that you want to pick, I would make sure that it's a welded door. On the cheaper vinyl doors that are out there, The sashes are welded, where they take two pieces of vinyl, and it's a laser welder that welds the entire piece, both on the face, the inside, and everything in between. But on the cheaper vinyl doors out there, the main frames are screwed together. When they're screwed together, they can leak. They leak water and they leak air. Lindsay decided a long time ago, we're never going to sell a door like that. So all of our main frames are completely welded as well. Another thing that we're going to do when we manufacture a door, we know that things just happen pertaining to things getting broke. The tracks every now and then get broken. I've even seen bobcats going in and out of new construction houses. So if they wreck the bottom roller track, that piece comes out and I can snap a new piece in. Some people, not so much on these doors, because your doors are only like 6 feet wide and you have that hot water heat below, but some doors are 8 feet wide. So what we did is the roller system, there's 2 rollers over here and there's 2 rollers over here. So I spread the weight out over a wider period, and it makes it real easy for the door to slide back and forth. Now to achieve a DP50 rating, you can't have a bunch of holes on the outside of the door. So like on the doors you guys currently have, there's adjustment holes right here for the rollers. The adjustment holes for these are in the sides, right here and right here. So we try to limit the amount of holes that are on the outside, because every time you put a hole on the outside, it leaks air into the house. And we want to achieve a DP50, so we had to put the rollers in the side. The rollers, the handles, are made for us by a company called Truth Manufacturing, and they're in Owatonna, Minnesota. The glass is all made for us by Cardinal Glass Company. That glass comes to us from Northfield, Minnesota, and when Northfield gets a little busy, we get the overage from the Toma plant, Toma, Wisconsin. The vinyl itself comes from a company called Jakunik, and Jakunik is the major plant that we get it from is in Rockford, Illinois, and when Rockford can't keep up, there's another one in Paducah, Kentucky, and we backhaul product from either Paducah or Rockford, Illinois. So the complete windows are built in Mankato. The glass comes from Cardinal Glass, and it would also have 3 coats of low E on the glass as well. Why is the 3 coats of low E such a good thing? It keeps the BTUs, or the energy, from passing through the glass. The glass that you guys currently have in the patio doors that I saw have no low E coating whatsoever. They're just a clear unit. That means 80% of your BTUs go right through the glass. That means when it's 10 below outside and you're in your pajamas and you're walking over to shut the blinds, you can feel the radiant cold coming right through the glass. You're like, whoa, shut those things, keep the cold out. 3 coats of low E, 5% of the BTUs pass through the glass. So, you can go up there in your skimpy pajamas and shut the blinds. You're not going to feel any cold. You just aren't. Now, what's the drawback of 3 coats of low E? There is a drawback to it. If people really like to grow plants next to the patio door, the plants will live, but the plants really don't bloom because we're knocking out so much of the heat aspect of things. If some of these people have the screen porches with those, you can move them outside and they'll do just fine. The plants will grow, but they just don't bloom. And I've discovered that even in my house, because I have that same glass in mine. And they grow, but there's not enough coming through there. Now, a positive note, you don't have to worry about your furniture fading, your carpeting fading. all of that is a moot point. Even the mini blinds, they won't fade out, they don't go bad anymore. The reason why we push 366 glass cardinal in this market, cold zone 1, is the fact that we're knocking out 95% of the BTU transfer, which leaves you guys with such a much warmer feel inside the unit. If this is hot water heat, there's probably a couple of boilers that run this building, maybe even 3 that run it. Typically, when a building owner puts these in and he's had doors like you, I always call them later and I'm like, hey, how are they doing? And they'll say, you know what? I haven't even had to turn the other boiler on. The one boiler's keeping up just fine. Do the doors pay for themselves? I'm not going to say that. Is there going to be an improvement on your quality of living in your unit? I can guarantee you that. Because some of these doors here, just the sheer odds of it, you're going to have some rot on these wooden doors where you can put your finger probably right through the stationary panel. Obviously, if you could do that, you're having a lot of cool air coming in there as well. So, we've got the DP50. We've got the 3 coats of low E on the glass. The glass itself also has 3 seals. So if you guys would want to go to the triple pane glass, don't be nervous about that with seal failures. Because if I was nervous about it, I wouldn't give you guys a lifetime warranty transferable one time. I wouldn't do it. So the overall U factor does drop down though from the 0.27 to the 0.19. So there is an improvement on it. If you guys backed up to Highway 55 or Highway 494 or one of the freeways or something, I would probably tell you to really consider the triple glaze units because it lowers the STC, that's the sound transmission through the frame. The sound, the amount of sound that comes through into the unit, your living place, is less with the triple glaze unit than the dual glazed. We are also approved for various sound projects, airport sound projects. We did the MAC project here in Minneapolis, and that was a triple glazed unit that was approved for that unit as well. We're involved in the Milwaukee project right now. Logan Airport in Boston as well, we're involved with that one. Those are all triple glazed units. If you were setting in Duluth, I would also tell you go to the triple pane. You're in Minneapolis, you're right on the fringe. You can get by with dual glaze just fine. If you want to spend a little bit more for triple glaze, that's fine too, but it's not a requirement here in Minneapolis. Up in International Falls 2 winters ago, I had 40 below was the high. For 8 days in a row. It happened 3 times up there. When I go to the lumber yards up there, they're like, yeah, it's just you and Marvin. You guys are the only ones that work up here. So, obviously we're the vinyl guys, Marvin being the wood guys. But we both use the same glass. We both use the same hardware. We even both use the same screen. Do you guys have any questions?
I have tons of them.
Uh-oh, we have a limited time.
Okay. We already sent out a questionnaire, and we got some responses, and there's a couple additional questions that I have. The first one being, do you charge extra for installation on 2nd and 3rd floor than you do on 1st floor, or is the installation
That would
the same?
be a question for them.
Yeah, because we don't provide any installation. We're
Okay.
just the manufacturer.
So these need to be manufacturer questions.
Are there locks on the outside of the doors?
We can put a keyed lock on the outside if you want it.
Is that extra?
Yes. And it comes standard with 2 keys. If they want more keys, we can just
Go make them.
we'll have to go get them made.
All right, so it comes with 2 keys.
Yep.
All right, and then, Are these tracks pretty durable? When you mention kids, and we have kids that come in and out, if they stand on the tracks, like I know they do in a camper patio door,
Yeah.
is that gonna cause, I mean, how durable are these?
Very durable, because we sell the same door in new construction homes, and the guys are, I always get upset with them because they put our doors in before they pour the basement floor. And then they utilize our door, they just drive everything over the top of it. This frame, I've not seen get broken once. This aluminum track on the inside, I have seen get dented to the point where I've had to replace it. But that, I don't see anybody driving a Bobcat through or pouring in floors here.
Huh.
Done it.
Okay, and how easy is it to clean these? To keep them clean? Do the windows come out to clean? Do you, are
Yeah.
they just slidable? Do the tracks?
They do come out, although I would not recommend the consumer to take them out. Yeah. Especially if you guys decide to go triple glaze. You realize if you go triple glaze, the panel itself is going to be about 125 pounds. So that gets to be pretty heavy as well. They will come out typically for cleaning. We just ask that you take a vacuum cleaner with your hose and suck out the track once a year. That's all you need to do. And if you guys went with that top mount patio screen, I still want you to suck out the bottom screen, but the bottom screen then just has a U-piece that overlaps the track, and it's just a guide at that point. And I did not see a whole lot of pines around here. Pines are the biggest issue for us as a manufacturer because the pine needles get in the track and then they release, you know, the pine sap, and then that attracts more dirt and just becomes an issue. That really becomes quite a problem issue when we get to about Brainerd North.
Okay, I have one more question. I'm assuming you went around and looked at the patio doors?
Yep, we did.
And based on what you saw, and what we currently have, how much do you think we're gonna save on utilities by going to this?
Yeah, I can't say, honestly, I can't say, because I haven't even seen your guys' utility bills as far as what it cost. And I did not look at enough doors to make an accurate assessment on that.
Would you say the savings should be significant?
I would say no. I would say no. Does it cost you guys 10 grand a month to heat this building?
Should know.
But you're talking about the comfort of each unit.
Yes,
You
the
sit in your
comfort of
unit
each unit
and
will
you've got
become-
your thermostat set at 72 or 74, and you've got a blanket wrapped around your legs and feet because they're cold. Anytime there's not that cold air coming through that door at you, you're saving money.
Mhm. Now, the guys that I know who own buildings like this, and that's why I threw out the 10 grand, because I've heard from so many of them, yeah, it cost me about 10 grand a month to heat a building like this, but bear in mind, those people have renters, and renters open the windows when it's, 12 degrees. You drive by and you see the windows open. So those guys are at 10 grand, and I've heard from those guys in the past, my 10 grand bill went to 9,400, saving about $600 a month. And $600 a month times 6 months, so he saved about $3,500 over 10 years. That's $30,000, that's real money, but they still haven't paid for themselves.
That's all the questions I have for you. I'll have a couple for you, but we're dealing with him first.
I have a question. Do you install them or do you gentlemen install them? You do. Then my
Yeah.
question's for you too.
John?
Double pane or triple pane, the warranty stays the same.
Stays the same, I don't care.
Pine needles here, Only at Christmas when we drag out the tree.
Wrap it in blanket.
I have two questions.
Sure.
What is you told us the U factor and the DP rating, what is the R factor of
Okay,
the?
you see, the R factor as far as a manufacturer goes, we don't deal in R factor anymore because the R factor is not regulated by AMA. So if you are a glass manufacturer and you want to talk R factor, Cardinal Glass measures a 2-inch by 2-inch center of glass area when they start talking R factor. And Cardinal Glass would tell you that the 366 dual pane glass has an R factor of 10. Well, we as the manufacturer of the product, we're not going to tell you it has an R factor of 10 because that's right here. When you look at the whole thing, it doesn't have an R factor of 10. When we start looking at the whole entire thing, it's closer to an R factor of 5.
And that's the one where the higher the number, the better, right?
Yeah, the higher would be
Okay.
the better.
Second
See,
question.
if you go to a triple glazed unit, then Cardinal would tell you the R factor is R13. They tell you it's the same efficiency as a 2x4 insulated wall.
Okay. Last question is, we don't have highway noise, but we do have a lot of police car sirens and fire engines because the utilities are right here. Just curious if you think that triple pane would reduce any of that noise.
Definitely would. Definitely.
Could considerably, like to the point where there would be noticeable difference in the,
When you start talking patio doors, the STC rating is affected a lot more by the triple glazing. It does make it more soundproof.
okay.
You get a small window that's 4 feet by 4 feet, there's a difference, but not much. But your patio doors are at least 6 feet wide, and they're at least 6 feet tall. So you're talking 36 square feet. The triple pane is going to make a difference.
Personally, I'm very impressed. How did you learn to do what you do? Because it is pretty good.
Next question.
I already forgot my question, no, I'm just kidding. I did forget it, really. I'll think of it though. You said
Well-
something that made me think of something.
I've been an employee of Lindsay Windows for 11 years, and before that I was an independent rep. I sold for Lindsay Windows, and I sold for a door manufacturer as well, steel entrance doors, and I had some other supplies. But it was about 11 years ago, the owner of Lindsay said, we're going to expand into some other territories. I don't want you to be an independent anymore. I want you to come on full-time. And if you're a full-time dedicated employee with Lindsay, you have to know how to sell, you have to know how to pick up a broom and clean, you got to do everything. There's not one person in that factory that is too good to do any job in that company, and that comes from the owner down, from John Royce. You would see John Royce, who still carries a CDL driver's license, because even though he's in his 70s, he still likes jumping in a semi once in a while and making a delivery to these guys and say, Mike, how's it going? So, that's our owner.
I thought of my question.
Okay.
You said 6 by 6, that's a standard door.
Yeah, your doors are actually a little bigger than 6 by 6. So they were like 74 by something.
74, 72.
Yeah, so they're just a little bigger, but roughly 36 square feet.
So are all of our patio doors the same size? throughout?
No, we
We're
have
all
some that are
different.
like 5'4". Yeah.
The bedroom ones are the smaller ones. All the other ones are bigger, the same. The bedrooms
So
are
it's
the
just on the
smaller
ends,
ones.
you guys got 18 that are smaller, and that's the ones that have the 2 patio doors, and I think it's like the living room area, and then you go into the bedroom and there's a 3rd patio door. That 3rd patio door is about a foot smaller on the width. Height-wise, it's the same size.
But also the 2-bedroom ones on the other end still have one small and one big.
Yep.
So So the ones with more than one door have at least one small door and one big door.
One thing I'll leave you with is, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to Madeline Island up on Lake Superior. We have a dealer in Proctor, ABC Seamless, up there, and he has put our product into various hotels up there on Madeline Island. And he was selling another product before, and they always quiz him, "Dad, I want the one that you did at that place, not the other place." And so he has noticed the difference. You know, when I start talking to you about DP50, and you're on an island, and the wind is coming, and the wind is basically, it's windy out there 300 days a year. It just is. It makes a big difference. This particular product that I'm showing you, we don't make in our St. Louis facility. We don't make in the Atlanta facility as well. It just becomes too expensive. We do have a number of lumber yards in the Nashville, Tennessee area, where there's a lot of people from Minnesota and Wisconsin that have moved to Nashville, and they've bought our product over the years, and they're like, well, we want that one made in Minnesota or Chicago. Minnesota and Chicago build code zone 1 product. Seattle, Washington does not, and obviously Los Angeles does not either.
I do have one more question, sorry. Have you done, do you know of any buildings similar to ours in this area that you have actually done? And I don't know if that's a you question or a you question.
There's a bunch of them as well. The ones that recently have done it, MEI just did one on 169, and I think it was called Manor Royal.
Is there a way we can get a list of some of these places where you?
I'll have to get the permission from them as well. And then there's another one that was done, and that was off of Highway 252 and 694 area. And that was done with a company out of Princeton called Home Improvement Shop. That had 200 doors on that one as well. And that is privately owned building. And that particular building owner, he usually buys his more expensive door, but that building over there has a lot of low-income people in there, and he decided he wasn't going to spend for this one. Our cheaper door is still a way better door than what you can pick up at any of the box stores. And they all know it as well. The Lindsay family figures, if we can't warrant an item for 25 years, we're not going to build it. And if you want something that carries a 10-year warranty and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, maybe we're not the best choice for you, because we're going to build top quality product and give you a great warranty, because we want you to be so happy with the product that you tell your neighbors. Because frankly, who's ever heard of Lindsay windows? I mean, all these windows that we sell, and hardly anyone's even heard of us. So it's all word of mouth, it really is. And then the company partners up with guys like these guys, who are quality people. The guy they work for, Joe Hoffman, I can't say enough good about him. He is just a great guy. And the family that owns MEI, the Bennis family, they are just, Marty and Lou, who started the company, and then their 3 sons were involved in the company. They're all great people. They're all great people.
Can we see the outside of the door?
Sure, yes. So sorry. Now, this would be the outside of the door. This is the standard screen that we offer, and it's an extruded heavy-duty patio screen anyhow. The difference would be, there would be an aluminum track up here, and then the rollers would ride from the top. This one's riding from the bottom as well. Now, there's one other thing that we have that you currently have what's called a brick mold trim that goes around the perimeter of the door. We have that in vinyl as well, and it's also welded in the corners. So if you guys wanted, we can obviously sell you a door with the brick mold trim on there as well. That would make the install really nice. Where the bump up portion is of the brick mold, that pries off. The guys run the screws through on the outside and then they snap that back on. You can't see any of the fasteners. Typically guys are like, how did they even install it? Well, but all the fasteners are hid at that point. The other way to install it is with this nail fin. And some of the doors, the nail fins are not welded in the corner. We don't like that because if a door leaks water and this nail fin is going this way and that way, it leaks right here. So why not make a longer nail fin and weld it in the corners? So it just makes for a much tighter product. So they back bead the nail fin and then they push the door up onto the sheathing and the sealant goozes to the inside and to the outside. When I see that simple gooze factor, I like it because then no water is going to get in there as well.
So that screen's kind of flimsy, is that just because it's
Well,
your sample?
the screen is so small here.
Okay,
There's a lot of manufacturers that sell a real chintzy screen. Again, we won't do it. This is an extruded screen and it has the reinforcement on it as well. A lot of them are just straight flat across and they're what they call a roll form screen. Roll form is they take a piece of aluminum and they bend it into the profile. This actually comes out of a die and it's extruded out in this particular configuration, much stronger.
so I'm talking about the frame inside there.
This
It
frame,
seems kinda-
or this frame right here,
The thing was kind of kittywampus or whatever.
going like this.
Yeah,
That's a sample, Jill, not a real door.
right, I was just wondering, is,
Yeah,
okay.
The real door won't do that.
no,
Okay.
Does your screen door have a lock on it?
yes, has a lock as well.
They all have the flip
I
lock,
would like, I never.
but it would be an option to
The
put
thing
this.
is, if you have a screen porch on the outside, you still might want to have your screen as well. I would think we would order all these with screens and let the customer decide if they want the screen or not. And if you want the lock keeper on there, you can just tell the installer. Some people don't want them, the lock keeper on.
I've got a screen in porch, so why would I want a screen on mine?
You wouldn't need it.
And is it extra charge if the people that want a screen?
Typically,
Or do they?
no, the screen cost is built into the price of the product, but I think what we could do is give you guys a deduct for the ones that don't need the screen, because if you don't need it,
I don't need a.
I certainly don't need to charge you for something you don't need.
Yeah.
On two of mine, I have 3 patio
Okay.
doors on mine. I wouldn't need them on two either.
None of mine.
We can work that out with whoever you pick. I'm
But
not
if you sell
gonna
your
charge
door,
you for
wouldn't-
something you don't
Wouldn't the
need.
buyers want a screen on the door?
Why?
My porch is screened in.
My
Yeah,
porch,
but what if the porch is taken down, then there's no screen on the
well,
back?
that's a
Then they
different
would-
story,
That's
but
a
I,
different
you
story. You
know,
can buy one.
then they'd have to go buy one, but then they buy it as is, and I'm,
Because I've never used my screen. They're slid back and I've never used
oh,
them.
that's,
The thing is, all these doors,
Get one open.
Oh, yeah.
all these doors have a barcode system on them. So
Mine
down the road,
this pin doesn't
if
move.
something happens to the door, you typically call the contractor first, and then he gets the barcode number from you, because there'll be a piece here, there's a piece on this door as well. We put barcodes all over it. Then we know who the contractor was, we know the size of the door, we know everything on it. Typically, this many doors, 102 doors, there'll probably be a service call, probably 2 or 3 service calls within the first 5 years. And it'll be simple little things.
Can we ask some installation questions?
Yeah, we need to give them a chance to talk too, and we only have about 10 minutes left, so.
Well, the nice part is he won't have to talk to the next guy. So maybe we can get a few extra minutes.
Yeah.
So maybe,
Was there anything else for Bert? Any other questions on the product at all? Okay. Then what I'll do is, I'll have Mike go up there a little bit, and then I'll just kind of tell you guys who I am and why I put this thing together. And that should be all you
See
need.
what he did there?
Yeah.
Right on me, didn't he? I'll just stand up right here if that's okay with you guys. I got my notes, I'll stay. My name is Mike Sample, I'm with Hoffman Construction. This is Brian. My title there is I'm the general manager, so I get all the headaches that these guys cause for me, but it's fun. Brian's one of our project managers. When we come and I talk to you guys about the company and stuff like that, it's easy for us just to tell you how great we are and we never make any mistakes and we're great, but we have the internet. So I really stress all of our customers, commercial, residential, to look us up online. We've been in business 25 years and you cannot hide anymore. So I think our reputation is very good online. We're not perfect, nobody is. But just like Lindsay, we back up our work. So if we make a mistake, we fix it. As far as working with Lindsay, I put some notes, some bullet points in your folders. At Hoffman Weber, we've been working with them 6 years. I've personally been working with them 10. From the other company I came from, I've put them in my niece's house, my brother's house, friends, hockey parents. If you ever work around with your family, you better put in a good product. He mentioned a little bit how they stand behind their product. They stand behind their product very, very well. It's a good product, but the best example I use on that, we had a lady a year ago, we put the windows in 4 years ago, and she had a bird flying in the window, cracked the window, and she called us and she goes, I got a warranty claim. And we're asking her, she was convinced that that was a warranty claim. It's an insurance claim is really what it is, but Lindsay helped her out, no problem. New glass, they don't care how it happens. They just want to fix it. So I'm trying to get through this quickly because I know you guys got some questions for us as far as install. So I'm trying to, we'll get to that. But the biggest thing that I push when I come and talk to boards is how our company's set up. We use on our window installs, siding installs, all that employee labor. So what that means to you guys is I would not have a subcontractor on your project. They're all employees of Hoffman Weber. And really what that means is you're dealing with one insurance company, not 2 or 3 or 4. So you're dealing with us, we're insured up to $10 million. If something goes happen, we also have an umbrella on top of that. But hopefully we never ever even have to try to use that. But my installers have been with us up to 8 years, working just for us, simply installing windows. So they're not installing windows one day, putting up siding the next day, putting in kitchen cabinets. That's all they do. So you'll see them in our trucks, you'll see them in our shirts. They take pride in their work. So not just installers, we assign to projects this size, one project manager. So he's here to help them, make sure it's coordinated with the residents when we're coming, make sure they can do their job, which is install patio doors. His job is to run the project, also an employee. And he'll be here 75% of the day. The other 10 parts he's running, getting them stuff they need so they don't have to leave. We keep them here. Working with projects this size, we found, throughout the years of doing it, there's things that we can do to help with. We set up a hotline that we send out to all the residents. You can call it, we'll answer it 16 hours a day. So if we don't answer, that means somebody's on the phone with another person, we'll call you right back. So we'll answer and return calls 16 hours a day. We do an online schedule that you can comment on. So your schedule will be accessible online. You'll see when we're coming. If it doesn't work for you, just simply put a comment in there and you'll see us switch it around, send you email, all that good stuff. So the install, it's easy for everybody to sit up here and say, yeah, my installers are great, they've been doing it for years. We found what's important when it comes to associations is the communication that we're working with. We're taking on, in a residential job, I'm taking on 2 customers at a time. I'm taking on, 70 some? It's challenging as a contractor to do that. So it's worked great with some of our other associations we worked with. I have put in your folder the last 3 big jobs that we worked with. They're in the back, feel free to call them. One of them is Gasson. I understand that's your property manager company. I did look at it right before I stood up. I'll get you a different contact. Sevi Lanning was our contact there. she's no longer there, she got sick, so I'll get you our new contact. So, I mean, our job is to make you guys happy, so you can tell your management company how great we are, and they like us, makes my job a lot easier. But as far as what we can do for your specific project that we've done in the past, and it's worked out great, and some of the concerns that you guys brought up. One of my questions was, how many units have the screen porches?
Did you say 20?
How many screen porches?
I don't know.
We might have to get you an exact number.
Okay, because an option we can do, we can give you that discount for the screen, because what we found works great is, we normally order extra screens anyway, we'll include it in our contract. And we store them. My warehouse is 15 minutes from here. And we'll set up a service program with you for our cost of, an hourly rate of $40 an hour. We'll just keep good screens. So you wreck your screen, we'll just come switch it out with another one. And we'll bring that one back and fix it and keep them stocked for you. And that's just a service we do we do it for some of our homeowners. We do it for a lot of property management companies. The other thing we do, we'll leave you with a service kit. So we buy, it's in our contract, extra parts. So right away, Lindsay may change something, or if you heard of Truth Hardware may change something as far as that part. So we'll buy, 20 extra handles, 20 extra rollers, and we'll leave you with the kit if you have a service maintenance man, and we'll keep the kit in case you require our service guy. So we have no problem servicing them. We do have a full-time service guy, he's an employee. So if you guys want us to service them, or if we leave you with enough parts, great, take care of them. The other option, or the other service I can provide you is very unique to us. I haven't found anybody else that has it. But we have an on-staff employee energy auditor. His job is to come do full house energy audits on our customer's house all day, every day. So what I can do is, if you guys were concerned about the energy, we can come in and randomly test a couple of units before and see how bad they are. With our blower doors and our thermal image cameras and all our little tools. And then we'll come back at the end and show you how much we fixed it. So you can test those installs, because you can't really, once we're done, the trim's up, you really don't know how good we installed it. So we'll test it for you. We can't, and I'd love to say we test all of them, but my energy auditor would kill me if you had to do 70 blower doors like that. But we'll randomly test as many as makes you guys comfortable as far as that goes. So. We'll leave the windows clean. We'll take the stickers off. And you will sign off before you pay, or before you pay us. So until you're 100% satisfied, we won't ask for that final payment. So I don't know if that's a board decision, individual unit decision, or what have you. So, board, that's fine. So do you guys want my opinion on the triple pay? Does it seem like it was a question now that it's on here? Because B.O. O'Brien does it too. We teach seminars on how to buy windows. We did one in Plymouth.
Yeah, I've done 5 at Plymouth, Maple Grove, all
So
community centers.
we kind of take the salesmanship out of it and just educate customers on it. Unless you're really, really worried about the sound, the energy savings part isn't going to make a difference. And the other part, keep in mind, if you can hear the sirens now and you can hear the road traffic now, just going to that patio door is going to make a huge difference, even if it's double pane. So it's kind of like a big, huge step, just making the change, and then a little baby step if you want to go triple pane.
So what do we have now, single pane?
We have nothing now.
Yeah,
And 2 panes with air in between.
big difference. I mean, I love Lindsay's old patio door. I mean, I could stand behind it. I loved it. When they improved it, I waited 2 months to put it in my showroom. I had a spot for it. I was going to put the old one in, and I said, no, I'll wait for the new one. So that's another thing. If you guys want to see a full patio door, like I said, my office is 15 minutes from here. We have a showroom. We have one installed in there.
So in other words, you're saying that the 3-pane isn't really worth that much?
Maybe not worth the cost.
Yeah,
The 2 panes are gonna pretty much.
You hire a contractor to give their opinion, and my opinion is it's not worth what you pay.
Okay.
So,
I have a question for you. When you've got the patio door out,
yep,
and you've got this clear opening, right?
yep.
Take us through how you install these.
Oh, good question. You have a unique situation. Yours are raised. When me and Brian walk through them, normally almost every time we include that it's going to be rotten. Almost 9 out of 10 patio doors I install in a residential home are rot. You guys are raised and covered, so I'm not expecting as much rot as we normally see. Plus it's 80s built too, which helps. But once we have it out, if there's no rot, if there's rot, we're gonna fix it. I'm not gonna nickel and dime. It costs me, to replace a board takes my installers 20 minutes. For me to go get a change order signed, takes me an hour. I'm just gonna replace the board. And that's the benefit of having employee installers. If they were subcontractors, they charge me for that board. They charge me for anything they can. My guys don't care. They get paid. They're on hourly or salary. So I'm not worried about rot. It'd have to take us more than a couple hours to fix it. And I don't see any evidence of that from the unit I was in. Then we're gonna make a pan, so we're gonna protect that sill from future rot. A product called Patio Flex Wrap. It flexes around, run it up the sides. New door goes in, like Bert said, caulked, sealed. I really suggest using that brick mold. It's gonna cost you more on the door. It's gonna save you on my install. It's very, very easy and tight install. I feel a lot more better about warranty in it. And then foam, new trim, they adjust the door, clean the door, make sure it works, and we'll go from there. So.
Do you take a door out and immediately put another door in?
Yes. Yep.
How long does that typically take?
Your install is going to be a 2 to 3 hour install. From getting it up here, getting it in place, in and out. I can do 2 teams of 2. Yep. There's no point in doing teams of 3. It's unproductive. So 2 teams of 2.
You said the tech wrap? Okay.
Flex wrap.
Flex wrap?
Yep.
Okay. Where's your flashing or your weather stripping, things that you put around?
With a nail flange, that would make sense. If we install them like that sample, that would make sense. You'd have to flash your nail fin, and then we'd have to put a piece of wood in there and wrap that in aluminum to cover that space where your brick mold is now. If we can order the doors with that brick mold on,
Okay.
we just have to seal the back, push it in there.
And when you seal it, do you do it with insulation, silicone? What do you install?
The outside's going to be silicone, and then once the door's in, there's going to be about a 1/2 inch gap between your framing and the actual patio door.
Okay.
That we're going to fill with window and door foam.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you will need new drip cap. So if you look out the side of your patio doors, you'll see this little metal piece that's up there. That door is a little bit thicker than what you have. So we're gonna have to fur that door out a little bit, which means that old drip cap isn't gonna work. So we'll have to replace that drip cap as well.
So on that drip cap, does it go on the top of the door and like behind it at all, or just on the top, so that there's no water that can come back through?
Yeah, it goes up behind your siding,
Okay.
across the top of the door and
Yeah.
down a little bit. The tricky part is we have to put it in first, because otherwise we can't get it up behind your
Right.
siding. So it makes that install a little bit tricky, but it's still better installed with the vinyl brick mold on it.
Okay, so do you charge extra for installation on second and third floor versus first?
Not this building, no. It's pretty accessible. We measured the elevator, so we can get it right. We can take them right up the elevator.
And how do you install them? Do you need scaffolding or ladders outside to do this,
Nope.
or?
We looked at the decks, we can work right off the deck, step ladder. So it's a pretty good install. It's a pretty easy install compared to other buildings we've worked on, so.
So the install is included in the price of every door?
Yes, when we price the project, Lindsay's not gonna price the project. They sell me the windows.
Yeah.
Me and Brian are gonna put a price on the project. And it's gonna be the same per door minus any deducts for the ones that don't need the screens that we can warehouse for you guys.
And then with that, one of the things that we were talking about is if somebody wants a keyed lock or stuff like that, we'll put a price out there so you guys know ahead of time, okay, I want a lock, here's the price. So when it comes to that, we'll just do that individually with each owner.
Warranty usually comes into play.
Yes, that's next.
Lindsay's got the best warranty out there, and he's right. We'll service it first if you call us. We're your one stop on that. You don't have to go through them. We'll take care of it. We offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. We usually offer it as an extended, where our residential customers are going to have to purchase it, kind of like when you go to Best Buy and they try to sell you the extended warranty. Commercial, when we can control the install this well, we will put it in our contract. It will be included. and that's lifetime transferable, just like the door. So if it's an install problem, not Lindsay's problem, we also cover it at that point too.
And when you transfer it, you know, there's units that turn over quickly in here.
Mhm.
Say maybe they're only here, the door goes in.
Mhm.
3 years down the road, they're selling it. The new owner comes in, that's transferred to that new owner. But say in 3 years, that owner sells. Does it stop or
He
does it
said
keep
once.
transferring?
You got the door shut, I'll tell you a secret. I was talking to John Rice, owns Lindsay Windows. That's one of the reasons, they're family owned just like we are. And I asked him about that. I go, how do you keep track of all these transfers? And he goes, you don't want to be honest? He goes, when they come in, we throw them in a box. He goes, I don't care if it's a Lindsay product or anything. I don't care who owns the place. And that's, we looked at this a couple of years ago on our warranty. And we, risk reward of going to a lifetime warranty, because it is risky, by state, I only have to offer pretty much a year, is what they say. But we fix anything anyway. If it's our fault, we're gonna fix it. So when we had our meeting, we just offered a lifetime warranty, because we're gonna fix it. And that's how it comes from our ownership. Joe Hoffman believes through it. A lot of times it's not even our fault, but it's part of being a contractor. That's the fun part.
Any closing comments?
Did we get your install question?
Yes, you did. Sorry, I was too loud.
Did you guys want to hear anything from me? Or you want
Sure.
me to just- Okay.
Quickly though,
I'll just keep it real quick. I don't have as much as Mike does here. My name's Brian. I met Bill and his lovely wife at the home show. The big thing about it is when they came to me, they know that, and what I want you guys to understand is, as soon as they said they want to do this project, I coordinated with Bill the next day. We met, I think, on a Saturday. I talked to him on Monday. I've got 20 years in the military. I don't play games very well, and I'm a bulldog. And some people say I'm kind of hard about it, but I like that. When I do a project, even though another project manager is going to be assigned to your project, I'm kind of like that second project manager. I follow up on all my projects, and I don't really care who it is. I will bulldog them to get it done and get it done the right way. The good part to you guys is you won't ever hear about any of that, but Mike can attest to it. When I first started at Hoffman, I've been here a year and a half now, if he was busy, I don't try to be rude, but if I need an answer, I would literally go stand in his office and just stare at him until he acknowledged me.
Sometimes it could be an hour, but
Yeah, but I would stand there until we get it done. So with me, that's the person I am. With all these projects, especially a big project like this, I take it to heart, and I'm a very personal person, so I take this all personally. So if something goes wrong with that, I take that on me, even if I didn't have a part of it, because to me, this is my project. So I will be the guy following up, even though you will have a dedicated project manager that'll be on here 75% of the time, you'll also see me walking around. Because that's just the person I am, and when that's why I've been so successful at this. When I came to the company, the first thing they asked me was, why do you want to be here? And I said, flat out, I want to be here because I worked at another company that Mike also worked at. We have several people I brought over, one of my partners, and they did some things that I didn't like. I'm a military guy, I have morals and ethics, and even though it's remodeling and we all see this stuff on the news about shady contractors out there, they're everywhere. There's no hiding it. And that's what I told Mike. I flat out, my neighbor's actually the HR lady. So he asked me why I want our care, and I flat out said, I'm not going to do any shady stuff, I'm not doing any unethical, I'm not making stuff up to get the sale like I did at the last company. After about 30 seconds of that, he just looked at me and said, you're hired. I was like, oh, that was easier than I thought it would be. And they've stayed true to that. I'm not going to sell myself out just to get your guys' sale. I don't care how big or how small a sale it is. You get what you get with me. And I don't lie well at all. I don't do it. So you'll always get the open, honest truth from me. And I think it plays well with you guys. So that's one big part about me being on this and running this. As soon as Bill said, hey, we want to talk about product and we want to talk about your company, within, what was it, Bill, about 5 minutes, I had Bert and Mike both in. Yep, you tell us the date, we'll be there. As soon as he told me the date, within 5 minutes, I got a hold of both these guys, called them right back, said, yep, we're there. The big thing about that is it's not just me. I have a general manager. He's a general manager. If you guys have ever been that high up on a chain, you got a lot of stuff to do. I can call him, he's going to call me right back. I got an answer right now. So that's a big thing, because in remodeling, like you said, stuff goes wrong. We're going to be there to fix it, just like Bert's going to be there to warranty his product. Make sure if there's anything else. That's pretty much it. Like I said, the big thing you'll get from me is I'm gonna be the coordinator of this project. So I'll be the guys, you guys have my card in there. If you have any questions from here on out, feel free to call me at any time, leave me a message, I'll get back to you right away. I was gone the last 2 weeks, but now I'm back, so that's why we chose tonight. But if you have any questions from here on out, my email's on there, my phone number's on there, feel free to give me a call. If it's something you feel needs to go up to Mike, Bill has his card. That doesn't offend any of us or anything like that, we totally understand that. If I don't know an answer, that's why I bring these guys. I could have sat here and talked to you about Lindsay too, but why would I talk to you when I have a company that is gonna send a guy all the way, the expert, all the way from an hour and a half away? I'd rather just call him. And that's the nice thing about Hoffman Weber, we have these relationships. I can call him and he never called. It was, yep, I'll be there, just tell me the date, tell me the time, I'm there. So, yeah.
One quick question. Once the board and everybody makes a decision on who the company is,
Sure.
say July 1st, okay, what's your turnaround time to start the project? You're the guy.
It's big on Lindsay. Lindsay's pretty good, but they're all custom-made doors.
Okay.
So it's not a standard door that they can pull off the shelf. So they're gonna need about 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
If we know it's coming, if we have a pretty good notion that we're gonna get the job, we can start scheduling. My installers, right now we're out about 4 or 6 weeks,
Okay.
with some commercial, some residential. But, a good way to plan it would be 4 to 6. I'd rather overpromise, I don't wanna overpromise and underdeliver everything.
Right.
So, but that's about the time frame. So it'll be done by winter, if that's a question.
Thank
And
you.
then, as Brian was talking, I noticed I missed a ton of the bullet points that we had in there, but that's fine, I'll let you guys read through them and see, the organizations we involved, we're involved with, the MHA and all that kind of stuff.
And we did ask a lot of questions on the survey.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Unfortunately, we do have to get going here, but thank you very, very
No,
much.
thanks for having
taking
us.
the time
Appreciate it.
to come out.
Like I said, feel free anytime, email, you guys, stuff will pop up, feel free to give us a call, email me, my card's in there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Sure.
Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.